What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match preview for Barcelona versus Osasuna in the Spanish Super Cup semi-final. It is the first opportunity to win a trophy for the season in the next few days, where Barcelona need to win this trophy, and of course we are coming in as the champions from last season. This could be a monumental turning point for the, you could say, below par season that we've had so far. It is a big moment, big opportunity, and hopefully the players and the manager can utilize that. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 8 p.m. local time, so it is an hour earlier than the usual kickoff time that we're used to. But again, since it is in Saudi Arabia, it's only 1 hour earlier. Isn't too bad whatsoever. And this match will be taking place at the El Awal Stadium in Saudi Arabia, which is the home stadium of Al Nassr, of course the team of Cristiano Ronaldo and multiple other European players. And the referee for this match has also been confirmed. On the pitch it will be Alejandro Muniz Ruiz, and on the VAR it will be Carlos Acero Grande. As we all know, we are playing already in the Spanish Super Cup semi-final. We did qualify due to winning La Liga. Real Madrid qualified due to winning the Copa del Rey. Osasuna were the finalists in the Copa del Rey. That's how they qualified. And Atletico Madrid are the next highest ranked team in the league, following Barcelona, who came first, Real Madrid, who came second. So the Copa del Rey winner will face the latest in the La Liga, and the La Liga champion will face the finalists of the Copa del Rey from last season. So later on today, we do have Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. So we will know who will be in the final come our match tomorrow. We'll actually know that later on today. And of course, our match will be taking place tomorrow. The final will be taking place this Sunday if Barcelona do end up qualifying. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Osasuna. Now, Osasuna were kind of the, Girona of last season, that kind of low-key team that had a great season. Right now they sit 12th in La Liga, so from their high of last season, they haven't really adapted too much, but they do qualify into this competition due to their performance from last season. Now, the last time we faced them in all competition was actually earlier on during this season, of course back in 2023, away from home, where we did end up winning 2-1. Now keep in mind, Osasuna's away stadium was voted the most hostile and best atmosphere of La Liga, I believe, or something of that nature. We nearly won this game 2-1. It was, of course, the match where Joao Felix and Joao Cancelo made their debut. It was a very tight game. Jules Koundé, huge header before halftime. Villa came in and scored off the bench, and we had a kind of a poor, 10-minute period between the 65th minute and the 75th minute, and they capitalized. Big Lewandowski penalty near the end of the game that secured all 3 points. Very difficult game, and you can look at the lineup where we were missing some personnel in this team, which we're now kind of missing now as well. We had Roberto start the game. You had Koundé, Christensen, Balde, of course Ter Stegen, Frankie de Jong, Gundogan in the midfield, with Romeo, of course, during his preseason prowess. Lamine Yamal started this game, and of course number 6 on the left, and you had Lewandowski up front. So we were missing a few players in this game. Of course, in this game that we're playing tomorrow, we're going to be missing a few players as well, but we still got the job done in that game. Very tight, very narrowly, but most important thing was walking away with 3 points. Now, if you take a look at Osasuna's last 6 matches in all competition, in the last match in the round 32 of the Copa del Rey, they did qualify 1-0, where they did end up going to extra time. We'll take a look at that later on. They also beat Almeria 1-0. They lost to Mallorca away 3-2. They beat Vallecano at home 1-0. They drew 1-1 with Cadiz away, and they drew 1-1 with Real Sociedad at home. So you can see their away form isn't the best, but at home they tend to get the job done, and this of course will be an away game, technically neutral ground. Anyways, let's now take a look in depth at their last 3 matches in all competition. Firstly is the 3-2 loss to Mallorca. It was a very tight game, of course, based on the scoreline, but Mallorca did dominate this game, and where defensively Osasuna didn't really have the best of performance. You can see their lineup on the screen right now. On the right hand side is a 4-3-3 compared to their usual 4-4-2 that they normally play. So they kind of went out of formation, but it was an off day for them. I would say the fact that they scored 2 goals and were in the game was, something to take credit of, something to take note of, but in the end, they lost out on all 3 points. Next up is their 1-0 win against Almeria. Of course, Almeria, the worst team in the league. We barely beat them. We beat them 3-2. They barely beat them in 1-0. They did keep a clean sheet. It was Budimir who got the goal, which I believe was later on in the match, but it was, I wouldn't say a comfortable victory, but I would say a standard victory, with Osasuna being at home, having the best atmosphere according to La Liga's data. You would expect them to beat the worst team in the league, which they did. They didn't make it glamorous, but job done nonetheless. Now, their final match in all competition was, of course, in the round 32 of the Copa del Rey, where everyone else played during the weekend, where they did end up winning 1-0, but they needed to go into extra time. 0-0 at full time. They went to extra time, and it was the former Barcelona player in Jose Arnaiz who got the goal in the end. If you remember Jose Arnaiz back in the Barcelona days, then shout out to you. Anyways, you can see their lineup on the screen on the right hand side, where they did field a fairly decent side. Of course, they had Aitor Fernandez in goal, who is their backup goalkeeper. I think Sergio Herrera is definitely the starting keeper. Nacho Vidal at right back, David Garcia. They had Juan Cruz as well. They had Ruben Garcia started the game, Kike Barca, Raul Garcia. So it was quite a mixed bag, where they did have some of their starting players start the game. Of course, they ended up playing 120 minutes during the weekend, which is a lot of minutes. If you look at the last lineup, of course, they had a fully strength side. So coming into this game, few of their first team players did start, so they could say they were a bit fatigued, and of course traveling to Saudi Arabia immediately. Nonetheless, though, they did qualify for the next round of the cup, and they got the job done. So overall, final thoughts on Osasuna. I would say they're a fairly strong side coming off a great season right now, kind of playing, I would say, at the level that we expect them to play at. Arastate, their manager, he's been there for quite some time now, kind of a veteran for them, and icon in terms of manager for Osasuna. He's a very smart manager. He's beaten Barcelona before, of course. He's made it difficult for us, and he knows how to get this job done, especially against a big team like us. I think last season his record against the top teams was fairly decent. Again, Osasuna did have an overachieving season as well. Now, in terms of players to look out for, there is quite a few. Firstly, their goalkeeper, Sergio Herrera. He's been unbelievable for them over the past year. Had a great game against Barcelona in that away game as well. Moy Gomez in the midfield, very strong. Their captain, David Garcia, who I think missed the game against us in the away game, if I'm not mistaken, but of course he's good. The main threat is Budimir. Now, Barcelona tend to struggle with these target man strikers, like a Giroud or a Zlatan, where they're deadly in the air, very clinical, but very slow when it comes to build up. So keep your eyes on Budimir. But one of their best players in Avila, who of course scored in the last game, the Argentine, who's been quite annoying over the past few years, he is injured for this game. So they are missing one of their best players. Let's keep that in mind. Of course, Ruben Garcia on the wings, very strong. It's a very, well-worked team, balanced, and on their day, they can definitely cause us damage. But they're going to be relying on Barcelona having a bit of an off day as well. I think talent for talent, of course, we beat them. And of course, we're not playing in their stadium, so they don't have that atmosphere, the encouragement of, thousands of people to push them on. For them to win this game, it's going to be down to Barcelona to mess up, and also down to them being very, very clinical. Again, Budimir's going to have a good game. Ruben Garcia in the win is going to have to be deadly against our fullbacks. That midfield's going to have good control, or else they're going to find it difficult to be qualifying to the final. Let's now take a look at the squad list. The squad list for the entire Super Cup has been released and confirmed, and it is as follows: João Cancelo, Balde, Araujo, Inigo Martinez, Varane, Pedri, Lewandowski, Raphinha, Inaki Peña, João Felix, Christensen, Romeo, Victor Roque, Roberto De Jong, Gundogan, Koundé, Astralaga, Lamine Yamal, Casado, Cochin, Fermin Lopez, Kubrasi, Marguiu, and Hector Ford. So, of course, the main surprise is the three injured players who will be traveling to Barcelona with the medical staff. You have João Cancelo, Inigo Martinez, and Pedri. No medical green light for any of the three whatsoever, but there is some positive news about Cancelo and Pedri, which we'll talk about in Xavi's press conference. Inigo, of course, he just got injured, out for a month. He has no chance. He just traveled with the team, being part of the atmosphere, hoping when we win he can celebrate. And also the medical staff have traveled with the squad, so they want to stay there, recoup and recover from their injury in Saudi Arabia. But apart from the three injured players traveling, there is no surprises. Time now to get into the press conference reaction of Ronald Araujo. As we all know, in cup competitions, a player always accompanies a manager, and today Araujo was selected. And of course, with the rumors lately, you already know what this press conference was about. Very, very quick. I think it only lasted about 4 or 5 minutes, but let's get and see what the third captain had to say in the press conference this afternoon in Saudi Arabia. He first started by saying that we needed more strength in both defense and attack, which is something that gave us a lot last season, especially the ability to concede fewer goals. I think that's what we're missing to finish games and win well. What we hope is that the Spanish Super Cup will help us this season like it did for last season. Then asked, of course, On the Bayern Munich links, the call with Tuchel, the supposed move this summer, Araujo said, "Every transfer window we have stories about me." They said something about Manchester United last summer. "My focus is on Barcelona. I'm doing my best for Barcelona 100%. It's a privilege to wear the captain's armband, and I feel that responsibility." Now, it's a typical answer. Let's be honest. I don't really think he shuts it down completely. He was asked about the Thomas Tuchel phone call. He kind of disregarded it. I don't have the best feeling from this response. I honestly believe, we'll talk about it in the transfer video following the Super Cup, but I genuinely believe if this bid comes in of 100 million in the summer and Araujo says I will accept the move, I think Barcelona will approve it. I think he will leave. He didn't give me a sense of security, a sense of loyalty, respect. He just said a typical answer. He doesn't say, "Oh, I believe Barcelona. Oh, I love this club so much. I kiss the badge when I celebrate." Oh, he didn't mention any of that stuff. He just said the typical answer, which for a third captain, for someone who does kiss the badge and is so passionate on the pitch, wasn't the best answer in my opinion. I think it was a very cold response. Anyways, onto the press conference, Araujo continues on by saying that no one believes that the match against Osasuna will be easy. On the contrary, they are a complicated opponent. As everyone knows, since the arrival of Xavi, I have learned a lot with the ball. I feel more comfortable with the ball. He tells me to be confident. Because of my character, there are adjustments I try to make a little more. And finally, he concluded by saying that I try to help the team, the club, and my friends as much as I can in bad moments. I'm there to encourage the team when needed. And that concluded Araujo's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Osasuna in the Super Cup tomorrow. Time now to get into the press conference reaction of Xavi Hernandez, who of course came and sat in the hot seat following Ronald Araujo. He was asked a lot of questions, of course, about the Super Cup ahead, some player fitness updates as well. So let's get and see what the Gavi had to say this afternoon in Saudi Arabia. He started off by saying that I have full confidence in my players. In most games, we have performed well and the team is prepared to compete. We are physically and mentally fit to compete in the Super Cup. That second sentence, the most games we have performed well. He's tweaking a little bit. Anyways, I hope we can repeat what we did last year. The Super Cup was a turning point for us. I hope we can win the Super Cup and La Liga again. I don't think we have more to lose than to win, but yes, we are the favorites in this tie and we have to win. Last season we were very solid. This one is costing us more. The players' reaction is very positive. I realize that if we don't give 100%, we won't get what we want. I think they see me as a convinced coach who gives them confidence and takes the pressure off them, and I like to talk to them a lot. In many games we have deserved to win more comfortably, but in other games we haven't that we have won, we deserve to lose, like we did against Real Sociedad. The expectations of the people are tremendous. Excellence is demand. We are on the right path. There are games in which we have been excellent, but others not so much. The balance of these 2 years is positive. We play better and better, but we continue searching for the excellency. We are looking for the best starting team so that during the game the 4 or 5 subs can make it important, taking into account that there may be extra time and penalties. Joao Felix will be important for us for tomorrow. Everyone will be important. Then as on Roberto as well on his renewals, and I say Roberto is the captain, an example. I've always said this. He gives me a lot of confidence and he is a guarantee. And finally, he was asked on an update on regards to the 3 injured players traveling in Pedri, Inigo Martinez, and Cancelo. And Xavi said this: the one who is closest to returning at the moment is Pedri. Cancelo, I see it as complicated for tomorrow. Maybe if we make it to the final, he could play. But Inigo, of course, 100% will not play in any of the 2 potential games that we do play. So Pedri, closer to returning than Cancelo for me, is a big surprise. But again, based on this comment, you could expect that both Cancelo and Pedri will be fit for that potential final if we do end up making it. And that concluded Xavi's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Osasuna tomorrow in the Super Cup. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Xavi Hernandez. I'm going to try my best to predict his lineup. I think it will be very, very easy to predict. I'm not going to beat around the bush too much. I've gone with this lineup on the screen right now with Xavi. I think I'll go with Inaki Peña in goal, a back 4 of Koundé, Araujo, Christensen, and Alejandro Balde, midfield 3 of De Jong, Gundogan, and Roberto, and a front 3 of Raphinha, Lewandowski, and Ferran Torres. Anything other than this lineup, I will be very shocked. The question mark for me, of course, is on that left wing. It could be Ferran, it could be Lamine Yamal, it could be Joao Felix. I think he will go with Ferran Torres. Midfield, there's nothing he can really do. Will he start Romeu? No. Will he start Fermin Lopez? No. Backline, nothing he can really do there as well. So apart from maybe Ferran on the left wing, I think the other 10 players are 100% absolute guarantees. And I think that Ferran Torres will get the nod for the start on the left-hand side. And that's my lineup prediction for Xavi. And of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think Xavi will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was a Barcelona coach. Of course, I'm not going to beat around the bush on this one either. I have picked the exact same lineup as Xavi. I don't think there's really anyone pushing to really, start in this Gala 11 right now. Of course, when Cancelo comes back and recovers, he can come in there. Apart from, maybe, of course, Pedri as well. But with the current squad we have it as is, no one's really pushing. You could maybe make the argument for Hector Fort, but I think putting him into a Super Cup semi-final is a massive pressure on the kid. He just played against Copa del Rey, round of 32. There's not that much pressure there against a poor side in Barbastro, but tuck him into kind of game like this, I think is really strong, outrageous. I would really like to see Lamine Yamal start the game. He has not played, of course, in the Cup. He was suspended. I think he's a really dynamic winger, but I think just on the left, I do prefer Ferran Torres. I think if it was a case of the right-hand side, let's say on the left-hand side we had, I don't know, Neymar. On the right, you had to pick between, Ferran or Lamine Yamal. I would have definitely favored Lamine Yamal, but with him on the left, I think Ferran is a bit more comfortable there. Nonetheless, though, it is the exact same lineup as Xavi. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know if you agree with my lineup and Xavi's lineup. Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? Will we win this game by 2 goals? Absolutely not. I've gone with the typical narrow 2-1 victory for Barcelona. I'm fairly confident we will win this game. I think we have to win this game. The pressure is there. I don't think Osasuna had been that good this season. This was the Osasuna from last season. I would see it as a way more difficult game. It's going to come down to who's going to perform on the day, of course. I really hope there's no extra time or penalties, especially with the final coming up on Sunday. We don't really need extra minutes. I don't see it going to penalties. Potentially, we could maybe see it go into extra time, but I don't think it'll go as far as penalties. But I think Barcelona will win, and hopefully it comes down to us being a comfortable victory in the 90 minutes. But I think it will be narrow. I don't think Barcelona will win this game by more than 2 goals. I could see it as a 1-0 win for Barcelona or 2-1, either the or. But in the end, I think Barcelona will win this match, and I've gone with Barcelona winning this match by 2-1. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think the scoreline will be. So that's a match preview for Barcelona versus Osasuna in the semi-final of the Spanish Super Cup. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to see, of course, is your score prediction. And secondly, on the lineups, do you agree with my lineup and Xavi's lineup? We've gone with the same thing, or would you make any other changes? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me and watch the game with me. Follow me after the match by my match review. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Big game ahead, season defining moment without a shadow of a doubt. Take care and Forza Barca.